All right, so we're going to kind of break everything down. First of all, I'm going to talk about the setup that I use flipping. Growing up, I used like a 610 rod. And now I've went to the last 7 or 8 years, I use a 7.3, okay? And it has, it's pretty stiff, you know, 3/4 of the way up and has a little bit of tip. But what I'm trying to say is I caught a lot of fish on the 610. I get asked a lot, well, what's the perfect rod? I would say the perfect rod is the rod that fits you. Everybody's different, you know. I use, now I'm on a 7.3. I'll go to an 8-footer when I'm punching, but a 7.3 is what I use about 95% of the time. So what I'm trying to say is use what fits you good, what you can flip all day. And the most important thing is what you can be accurate with. Flipping is something, you know, I have a lot of guys in my boat fishing 2 different tours the last couple of years. I have a lot of co-anglers back there, and we go flipping. And I watch them sometimes, you know, when I'm not watching myself. But accuracy, we all know that is a big, big deal, especially fishing around here because we don't have grass. You go to Florida or Guntersville or somewhere like that punching grass, you don't have to be accurate. You lob it out there, and you get within a foot, you know, you're probably pretty good. But around here, flipping bushes, flipping docks, you know, I flip everything. Trash mats, everything that there is to be flipped, I flip. And you have to be accurate. So I would say if you potentially want to be a good flipper, down the line, accuracy is the top priority. We talked about the setup. Over the last couple of years, I've gotten to where I use a snail, you know, flipping bushes, even on fluorocarbon. It's a little more difficult to tie with fluorocarbon than it is with braid, but I think my land ratio has gone up a lot since doing the snail. And you guys aren't familiar with that. You know, I think we have a question or a breakout session later. I brought a flipping stick. I'll be glad to show you that. Let's talk about some baits. The first thing that I'm going to go when I go to a tournament, I'll start with the jig. And the reason being is if I can catch them on a jig anywhere in the country from Grand Lake to New York or whatever, if I can catch them on a jig, I have a chance to win. You know, I mean, a jig catches big ones. And if I can't get bit a lot of times, then I'll switch to plastics. It seems like over the years, a rule for me is a jig works really, really good until they spawn. Once they start spawning, then it seems like I have to go to more like a creature bait, you know, a beaver style bait or, you know, some kind of creature bait, and that tends to catch them better through the spring, through the summer, and then back when the water temperature starts going back down is when I go back to a jig. But I can tell you, honestly, in the last 6 or 7 years, I've not made a single flip with a bait less than a 1/2 ounce. And what I do with that is, what was hard back in the day is I'd have me a 1/2 ounce jig laid there, and I'd have me a 3/8 ounce jig, and I'd have me a 1/4 ounce jig for swimming, and I'd go to pick it up, and you know how it is, you want to pick it up just for a couple of flips, and it just doesn't feel right because you've been flipping a 1/2 ounce all day. So what I do is I take this 1/2 ounce, and I can create the fall that I want, the action I want, just with the trailer. I can make a 1/2 ounce jig, swim like a 1/4 ounce. All you do is it's all based on your trailer. If I go fishing tomorrow in the wintertime and I want that jig to fall real slow, I'm gonna have a 1/2 ounce jig and I'm gonna have a great big or a real thick beefy trailer. I don't mean it have to be 6 inches long, it just needs to have a lot of plastic, and that jig's gonna fall real slow. If I go to Lake of the Ozarks and the docks are 15 foot and I want to flip a 1/2 ounce jig, but I want it to fall real fast so I get that reaction strike, I'm going to put something on that's really, really slender and get that real quick fall. That makes me feel a lot better. I mean, every pitch that I make is with the same weight. Now, we go to Florida or somewhere like that, yeah, we go up to 1.5 ounces, but around here, most of the time it's an 1/2 ounce.
It's Mike Iaconelli. This is Bass U TV.
Here's what's awesome about Bass U TV.
You get the top instructors.
You will learn things at Bass U that you will learn nowhere else.
We take the mystery and the myths out of bass fishing.
Real tools that help you catch more fish consistently.
At Bass U TV, shoes are optional.
And I like turtles.
And that's why you want to check out Bass U TV.
Join the Bass U family.
Welcome to Bass U TV.